Have you ever had a day where being a mom felt less like a blessing and more like a curse? Where the tantrums, the sleepless nights, and the constant demands left you wondering if you could make it one more minute, one more hour, one more day? I've had many of those days, but there was one day in particular that has stuck with me. A day where I almost gave up. Not just gave up on the laundry or the dishes. I mean really gave up on trying to be the perfect mom, the patient mom, the always smiling mom. But let me start from the beginning. It had been 3 weeks since I last slept for more than 2 hours at a time. My baby Liam was going through what every article called a sleep regression. But honestly, it felt like emotional warfare. He screamed at night, refused naps, and wanted only me. My body ached. My eyes stung. Every sound, even the microwave beeping, made me want to cry. And then there was my toddler, Emma. She started acting out, tantrums, throwing toys, pulling my shirt when I didn't respond fast enough. It was like they both knew I was cracking, and they pushed harder. One afternoon, Emma spilled juice all over the carpet. Right after I'd cleaned it, Liam started screaming at the same moment, and I just froze. Then I dropped to the floor, holding my knees, and started crying. Big, ugly sobs, the kind that come from deep exhaustion, not just of the body, but of the soul. I remember kneeling there, staring at the juice stain, thinking, is this my life now? Am I meant to spend every waking moment cleaning up messes? When will it end? And you know what the scariest part was? I didn't feel anything. Not sadness, not anger, just numbness. That was the moment I thought, I can't do this. I'm not made for this. I am failing. My husband, Mark, came home that evening to the side of our living room, resembling a war zone. Toys strewn everywhere, juice boxes scattered on the floor, and me sprawled on the sofa, eyes swollen, shoulders slumped. He knelt beside me, his face etched with worry, but I could see the flicker of helplessness in his eyes too. Neither of us had a magic solution. We were just 2 weary soldiers on opposite sides of the battlefield, hoping to hold our ground one more day. I picked myself up, forced a smile, read Emma a bedtime story, rocked Liam to sleep. The autopilot mode kicked in. I was functioning, but I wasn't present. As the days went by, the exhaustion became my constant companion. It seeped into my bones, making each new dawn feel like an unwelcome guest. The joy that once colored my motherhood journey had been replaced by a dull ache of fatigue. The giggles of my children, once the soundtrack of my happiness, now sounded like piercing alarms in my weary ears. Then one evening, something shifted. Maybe it was the 2 a.m. feeding, maybe it was the 18th juice spill that day, or maybe it was the realization that I hadn't smiled in a full week. But that day I almost gave up. Not just gave up on the laundry or the dishes, I mean really gave up on trying to be the perfect mom, the patient mom, the always smiling mom. I remember standing in the kitchen, the remnants of dinner splattered on the counter, and I just closed my eyes for a moment. In that brief pause, I heard myself whisper, what if I just gave up? Now, I don't mean gave up on my children. They're my world. But I did mean giving up on the unrealistic expectations I had placed on myself. The ones society, Pinterest, and well-meaning relatives had all contributed to. In that moment, I envisioned a different kind of mother, one who embraced the chaos, who prioritized coffee over cute outfits, who traded perfectly clean floors for story time. A mother who realized that the spilled juice and the tantrums were not a reflection of her failure, but simply the messy, imperfect reality of raising kids. I took a deep breath, the first one that didn't hitch in my throat in weeks, and I knew I couldn't keep living like that. That's when I reached out to my mum. She lives 2 states away, but she's always been a phone call away for me. I dialed her number, my thumb hovering over the call button, and then I hesitated. Should I burden her with my problems? Would she think I was being dramatic? Was this really that bad? And then I remembered how much my own mum had struggled when I was born, how she juggled work and motherhood with a grace that I'd only begun to appreciate now. She understood this kind of exhaustion. She knew what it meant to question if you could do this mom thing one more day. When she answered, my voice cracked with unshed tears. Hi, Mom. Can I talk to you? And in that one sentence, the dam broke. I poured out my heart to her, sharing the doubts, the fears, and the overwhelming sense of exhaustion that had become my constant shadow. The words tumbled out of me, each one a testament to the heavy burden I'd been carrying. And you know what she did? She didn't lecture me. She didn't offer unsolicited advice. She just listened. She let me vent. She let me cry. She let me be the raw, vulnerable version of myself that I'd kept hidden from everyone, even Mark. After I hung up the phone, I scribbled down the list of things to do she suggested. The grocery list included not just essentials, but a few treats for me, a reminder that I deserved a little pampering too. When my mom arrived, it was like a scene from a movie. She swept into our lives like a superhero in disguise of a sweet old lady. She put Emma in front of a cartoon, picked Liam up with the expertise only a grandmother can muster, and then she turned to me. Now go sit in the bathroom, lock the door, and breathe. I'll stay on the phone. And I did. I remember sitting on the bathroom floor, the cool tiles pressing against my back, and breathing. At first it was shaky, each inhale a battle against the rising tide of emotion. But slowly, with each exhale, I felt the tension easing from my shoulders. I leaned my head against the door, closed my eyes, and let the silence envelop me. It was the quietest moment I'd experienced in what felt like months. I didn't think about Liam's next feeding, or Emma's upcoming dentist appointment, or the pile of unfolded laundry. I just breathed. After what felt like minutes, but was probably closer to an hour, my mom knocked gently on the door. Honey, you okay in there? She asked softly, and I knew then that I was. Not okay, not completely, but better, relieved. More than anything, I felt seen. Someone understood what I was going through, not because they'd read it in a book or seen it on TV, but because they'd lived it too. As the days passed, the weight of my exhaustion didn't vanish, but I learned to carry it a bit lighter. I asked for help more often. I gave myself permission to indulge in screen time, guilt-free, and I stopped comparing myself to the picture-perfect mums on social media. I started talking to other moms, real moms, not the Pinterest-perfect moms. The raw, tired, under-eye circle mums who understood what it meant to be sleep-deprived, to be covered in spit-up, to be questioning if they'd remembered to zip their pants up that morning. I discovered a community of women who shared stories, who cried on Zoom calls, who sent memes about wine and surviving, and in their shared experiences, I found solace. It was a reminder that I wasn't alone in this crazy, beautiful journey of motherhood. Now, whenever I feel the weight of exhaustion pulling me down, I reach out to my mom squad. We talk, we vent, we strategize, and somehow it feels a little easier to get out of bed the next morning. Motherhood is a wild ride, filled with moments of intense love, overwhelming challenge, exhaustion, elation, and everything in between. There are days when you feel like a superhero, balancing a million tasks at once. And there are days when you just want to crawl under the covers and never come out. Remember, you're not alone in those tough times. Reach out, ask for help, lean on your village. And when those dark moments try to pull you down, remember that you're stronger than the bad days. You're a mom, and that's a superpower in itself. If you enjoyed this story, share it with a mom who could use a reminder that she's not alone in the trenches of motherhood. Together, let's show the world the strength, resilience, and yes, the occasional wine-fueled madness that comes with this incredible journey called parenting.